I had been a graduate assistant at West Virginia with Linda Burdett, and that's where I really, I guess, started to think about, wow, I could really coach and stay in the sport that I'm so passionate about as a career. I had gotten a master's degree, and I was thinking originally that I might do marketing for a pro team or stay involved in some way more administratively. And then when I was a GA, I started thinking about coaching. So I applied for 5 different positions. 2 were head coaching positions. It was Michigan, and I think it was like Wisconsin Whitewater. And then 3 were assistant positions. Turned out that the assistant positions were all looking for male spotters. Michigan was the first school that called me. I was in the right place at the right time, and the rest is history. Everything about last season was obviously couldn't have been any more different than any other year. I feel like having the season pulled out from under us the year before, when we really felt like we were having a great year, peaking at the right time, primed to do great in the postseason, was a big motivation. And we tried to use that, as well as the fact that we had an option coming into last year if we wanted to look at everything that was being taken away from us and have a pity party and feel bad, or if we wanted to consider the fact that we were able to come together in the gym and train and do the thing that we're passionate about doing, and had the privilege of testing 6 or 7 days every week for COVID, that was actually a blessing, and that we took advantage of our opportunity to be together as a team because we couldn't be together with anybody else.
I think they were willing to make the sacrifices that they made in order to make the season happen, which isn't easy when you're a college student, to give up a good portion of your social life. Spend, the highlight of your day is coming out of your house and coming to practice.
There was a level of trust built, and we obviously worked very hard to keep things positive in the gym, and I think that was a very big difference. We went into nationals, we went into regionals and nationals last year with a level of confidence and belief. Because we've had confidence before, but I've seen when we get to the nationals level and I see more nerves. Last year I saw excitement, and that was amazing. I think it actually started before we even got on the plane to go to Fort Worth. We had ended practice one day, and I asked the team to come together, and I wanted to address them as a group, and I don't think they had any idea what I was going to say. It had been a really good practice, and I just said, do you guys have any idea how good you are? And it was just silence. They were kind of like, oh, wow, we weren't really expecting that. And I said, if you go into this meet and you do what I watch you do on a daily basis in the gym, other teams are going to have to beat you.
We all woke up and we knew something was special about that day. I think just like the energy in the room, like going through breakfast, like everyone just kind of knew it was a good day.
I feel like the overall vibe was just really confident. Like we woke up and had breakfast together and everyone was just really calm, like not in a weird way, but we were just ready to like get out there and show what we've been working for. And we knew it was our day and we really just had to make the most of that moment.
It was just a lot of excitement. I think kind of like the mentality going to the meet was like, this is just like the icing on the cake. Let's just have fun. Let's enjoy the moment where at the final meet, like let's just have some fun.
We started off on floor, had our best floor like rotation that we could have had. That alone was just super exciting for us because obviously floor had been a touchy event for us the entire season.
We all knew we had to kind of step up our game, and it wasn't even like we thought we couldn't do it. It was more sort of applying what we did in the gym, during competition. And we definitely did that during regionals. I think that definitely upped our confidence. So on the final day of nationals, it was kind of like a full circle kind of thing where it's like, okay, we know we can do it. We can really set this meet off with a bang. And once Carly Jo went and she set it up great. We were all kind of able to follow through with that, but we knew that in that moment we were all going to hit our routines. It was going to be great.
After that great floor rotation, we just kept it rolling and we stayed in our bubble, and just our vault rotation reflected that. I personally love being a leadoff because you just get it over with, you're done. And I think I really started to embrace that role a lot this season because it's like you feed off of one another. So when I started us off with that stick, you could feel the energy start to rise and everyone was starting sticking. So it's always really rewarding to go out there and start us off strong and give everyone the foundation to keep it going.
I usually have like a general idea of how people have done before me in the lineup. I try not to like fixate on it too much because I don't want it to influence my job. When you're in that position, your job's kind of just to keep everything rolling and pass it on to the next person. So I definitely wanted to follow up with a stick.
Went to bars, another like just smooth event for us. Nothing like crazy good, but also like a good, still a solid rotation.
Being injured, being a captain, and my junior year being an upperclassman, you know, I kind of took a new role as kind of leading from the bench is what I called it. I grew so much in that year. Maybe not gymnasticsly, but like internally.
It was disappointing to lose her partway through the season. She had been competing so well. But when she was able to start training again, you know, we kind of worked our way back. We were told her we were going to take our time. We're going to do this the right way and not try to rush her back. We were fortunate in that our backups were very strong and our lineup was pretty darn solid as it was while she was, you know, coming back from her injury. We got to nationals day one, it was pretty solid. We didn't make a change. Day two, we had a few issues with some consistency, and you know, I turned to her and I went, "Hey, you ready?" And she goes, "To compete?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "I guess so." I'm like, "Not the right answer, try again." And she goes, "Yeah, I got it."
One of my favorite memories is Nico, who I took her spot in the lineup. She was the last person to give me a high five and a fist bump and tell me I got this. And it was just so sweet knowing that I had her support too. I mean, that's how close of a team we are. And it was just so sweet having her be the last person, her reassuring me, and me being able to nail a bar routine. It was just, all I can say was a sweet moment.
We headed over to Beam from Bars, obviously with 3 great rotations before us. Had our warm up and we pulled them together and we just told them, you know, live in the moment. You've done all the hard work. This is your reward, right? Enjoy every second. Breathe into every single one of your poses, your skills. Don't try too hard. Do exactly what we've been doing in the gym and in competition all year round, and just go out there and leave it all on the floor or the beam. You know, and the rest will happen.
We knew we had a very small lead going into the last event, and like you said, Oklahoma was on floor, we were on beam. But I knew that we had the beam team, if we performed like we do in practice, that we still had the capability to be able to do it.
With every routine that went up, you know, the confidence grew. Everyone was cheering. The crowd was loud. It was a very magical event. Obviously, beam is a mind game, right? Everybody physically was 100% ready and mentally they were ready. They just had to believe in themselves.
We had a couple of beam routines that were good, but with a little wobble. You're trying to win a national championship, little wobbles aren't a good thing. So I did actually start to get a little bit nervous.
Once we kind of got into the second half of the lineup, it was Sierra and then me and high school, and the three of us were standing together for the whole beam rotation. We didn't really say anything to each other. We were kind of just, walking through our routines. We'd like look up and make eye contact, but we were all just like silent because I think we were all like thinking the same thing, that we just needed to do our very, very best gymnastics, and nobody wanted to like, freak anyone out, but we knew that we had to go up and hit like extremely solid routines.
When I really got my confidence back was when Sierra went up, and she just, you could see it in her eyes, in her face. I mean, she was so determined, and she was just like, not going to give up anything.
I was just super confident in my routine. I had this mentality where I was like, you're not gonna wobble. It wasn't like one where it's intimidating, like, okay, I can't wobble, but it was definitely like, no, I'm just not gonna do it. And I had probably my best routine ever.
When she did that routine and stuck that dismount, it was like, I think the life breathed back into everyone. And then Natalie goes up.
Before my routine, I remember taking a deep breath and just being like, wow, this feels so much like practice, which I was like really glad that I felt that way, because I didn't want to get up there and be like, oh my goodness. But I just felt really calm. It just felt like what I did every day in the gym.
And then high school goes up, and high school was not typically our anchor on beam.
She had been training so well. She had hit routine after routine in the gym and in competition all year. I knew she was ready for this moment, and I knew she was the one to be able to bring that home.
We have our chat before every beam routine, and it's pretty similar. She walks me through my routine. She's like, walks me through my first skill, done. Walks me through my second skill, and just walks me through my whole routine. She's like, remember your choreography, remember your mental choreography, and just go up there. And my favorite part of her, I always tell her, she goes, you got this. And that's just like, end of that. There's no pressure. She just knows, she's like, you got this. And she just instills confidence in all of us.
I didn't know the score that we needed. I don't think she knew the score either. Fast math. But, we knew she needed to hit. We knew it was close, and, she needed to have a good routine.
As soon as she hit that side aerial, I knew that she was in the right place mentally. I knew that it was going to be, a great set.
Wasn't any more or less nervous than, it's beam. You're always going to be nervous. If you're not nervous, I think that's a little bit weird. But so I wasn't any more or less nervous than I normally am to compete beam, which I think, like I said, Miley does a really good job of calming us down.
I was standing next to Nicoletta, and she was squeezing my hand so tight. Like, I remember my hand hurting, but I think we were all just trying to pour our energy into that routine. And then as soon as she landed, like, you can see like all the videos of her reaction, our like Michigan section's reaction. Like, everyone knew, I think, in that moment, but obviously, like, you never know exactly what the judges are gonna see. So like, we were like pretty sure, but we still had that like moment of like anticipation.
I think the biggest thing was just relief. Because, like I said, I didn't know the exact score. I didn't know what we needed. I didn't know we were tied at one point. I just was like, I made it. I'm done. I'm like, oh. It's like all that adrenaline just left my body. And I think that was the biggest thing. It's like I almost collapsed. I was like, oh, thank God, I'm just done. And then there was a part of me that just, like, I knew we had done it. And I get chills every time I think about it.
Math is not my subject, especially when you're dropping scores and doing all the other stuff. So I really honestly did not have any idea. I saw that we were tied, and my first thought was that this can't be happening. And then I saw that they had gone ahead, but the one who is really great at math on our team was Lauren Farley, and she just kept telling everybody, they haven't put in Abby's score yet. They haven't put in Abby's score yet. So I was, there, at that point I realized there's no sense in me trying to figure out what score they're dropping. It's going to be up there before I can do all that. So we just absolutely stood there holding our breath, watching the scoreboard.
We watched kind of the four judges like put up their own scores, and it was above a 985. So it was like, okay, I think we have it. But I think I was the one who was like, we all had that little, like, if you probably saw it, we had that tiny little like celebration, then we stopped. Like, I was like, I'm not jumping up and down until I see it. So I think I knew it, but it was still something where I was like, I have to wait until I see it go up on like the little jumbotron thing before I like really get excited about this.
It's in! The score is in a 9-9-2-5.
They have just found the Holy Grail. Oh my gosh.
What a moment.
Welcome to the club.
A rather exclusive club of only 6 teams that have won a national championship. Well, now there are 7. With a school record team score, the Wolverines led from start to finish a 198-25.
Oh my gosh, it is like replay in my mind. It was one of the best moments ever. The best way I can describe it is just like pure joy, knowing that after such a tough year with COVID and just all the sacrifices we had to make for this season and just all the hard work, like that, our team grinded, like our team gave it our all, and knowing that all that hard work just was paying off in that moment and just the anticipation, it was just pure joy.
Standing down there, you know, people have said, well, what did you think? And what was going through your mind? And the truth is that it was like my whole brain did this rewind back to so many years that we were so close, and so many years that we had so many really talented athletes that paved the way for us to be where we were at that exact moment. And I just had wished that they could all be there with us. After the meet, I went to the locker room and I picked up my phone, and I had already almost 400 text messages, and I don't even know how many emails, but the common theme between the text messages was, you know, we're all crying as classes. They were FaceTiming each other, and they were watching the meet. They were screaming, they were crying.
We've made so many people proud, so many people that we don't even know. Like when we had our whole team tailgate, all the alumni come and talk about how proud they were of us. And we don't know them, but I mean, they were in our position once, and having them kind of build up the blocks for us to even be here today was amazing. But I think in that moment, it just made everything worth it.
I think when you put as much time as we have into building this program year after year and trying to establish a culture that, you know, really functions well as a team and helps everybody kind of reach their potential, you know, it makes it really special. I think when you finally get that prize at the end, that, you know, is the ultimate prize that you've been waiting for. And so it was an incredible moment. I'm not naturally a terribly emotional individual, but that one hit me a little bit after the fact.
I have always believed that a national championship was in our grasp, even though it's been a long time coming. I am incredibly proud of the fact that we did it the right way. We run, you know, a program that plays by the rules. We care about the athletes. Not a win at all cost type of philosophy, but still very competitive. And very driven, and to have all of that come together the way that it did in the year that it did was just, it was a dream come true. You know, you talk about perfect storms in a way that things happen negatively. I think this was a perfect storm in a way that things happened for the good, because they really did trust each other. That level of friendship and that level of, like, we've worked so hard as a team for this was absolutely there.
Being able to, you know, have the year with the global pandemic and all the testing and the quarantines, and, you know, we had a 2-week shutdown in the middle of January, and that was really hard. There's so many things that went into, obviously, the pandemic and COVID that at the end, you know, realizing that all of those sacrifices were totally worth it too, and that we were healthy and strong enough at the end to be able to be there, be present at the national championship and win the title.
Congratulations to Michigan, their first national championship. in school history.
There's a difference between believing you can win and having an expectation placed on you that you need to win or you're going to win. I have never had more confidence that we have a team that could do it again. When we opened the doors of the gym again, the athletes came back in, and I don't think they've ever worked harder.
You know, they got a little taste of what it's like and they want to do it again.